Hello guys, this is Abla, your lover. Today we'll be talking about setting healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries very important in relationships, in friendships, even family members. We need to set boundaries. We cannot just live our lives open, our bodies, our private lives. We cannot just become so vulnerable to everybody who comes around us, most especially for the very first time. Please don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and also like this video. Very important. Please, you'll be enjoying more material coming from this beautiful person you're seeing. And also, if this is the first time seeing this beautiful face, please don't make it your last. Make sure you always come in for more, because we'll have a lot. I will prepare a lot of material for you to savor. Very important. Please do not make this the last time you're stepping into this page and seeing this beautiful person. Moving into what we have on the table, setting healthy boundaries. First of all, what are boundaries? Boundaries are the limits we put in every relationship we have with any person we come across. We should not always open ourselves and let ourselves so loose to a certain extent. We should limit the way we interact. We should limit the way we give out information. We should limit the way we behave. We should also limit the way we do things. We expose our emotions. And also, we should also know that people are out there that just want to see us in pain. There are people out there that just want to know and spread whatever thing they hear. There are people out there who just want to, manipulate us and make us frustrated, depressed. They just enjoy seeing that. There are people who are like that. So we need to set boundaries, and there are people who have just come around you to know things and know the steps and what they are going to do. You just need to, take things one step at a time. If you have to talk to someone about yourself, you start by saying, the basics about yourself, and you watch this person and you're like, okay, what is he going to do with this material information I'm giving him or her? And from there, you now know the next step to take. Even though sometimes even their behavior will not be enough for you to go deeper into yourself, conversing and exposing certain things about you. They may pretend, because people pretend a lot. So we should go in, and we don't take it like in a very short time. We don't take a very short time to know this person. We take a period of time, at least 6 months or more. And you can even be with somebody for years and you never know exactly who this person actually is. So it's very important that we do set boundaries in every relationship we find ourselves in. Very, very important. And we need to go now into knowing the types of boundaries, because sometimes people just open themselves. They don't even know that, okay, in this situation you need to have a boundary. And also, we should know that there are also unhealthy boundaries people set for themselves. Sometimes they do it unknowingly, and some people do it knowingly. They know very well that, okay, they are just depressed. They just say, what is there to live for? We just need to just perish. We just need to destroy the little that is left. And it's just like committing suicide. But please, there is no situation that would let you place unhealthy boundaries to yourself, most especially consciously, like knowingly. Some people do this unconsciously, but please, this video would help you to know that in this particular level, at this particular point, you should set boundaries for yourselves. And also, we should know that there are various types of boundaries, and there are physical boundaries that should be set, mental boundaries, spiritual boundaries, sexual boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries. Okay, when dealing with someone, we should know that these boundaries or these points or these levels or these situations should have boundaries attached to it. So going on to today, we will be talking about the 3 most common and very important types of boundaries. We have physical, mental, and emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries, we'll talk about our fears, our challenges, those things that we have, our pain, our frustrations. We should not always expose these things. We should not always leave ourselves open and vulnerable for anybody to step in. No, we should always cover these things sometimes. It depends on the person you are trying to relate with. If it's someone, let me say a counselor, you don't need to go to a counselor and you want to cover up certain things based on the topic you guys are conversing on. You should try to make this person open. But if it's just someone, a friend you just meet about, you should cover it up. You should cover it up. There are other things that could lead you to hurting yourself emotionally, like sexually. You could maybe give yourself like that, and you thought you were doing something good for yourself or for your partner, and at the end of the day you're hurt emotionally. Yes, so those things could also go in side by side. Some of these boundaries could also go in side by side. And sometimes we have spiritual boundaries, and which could also go into mental boundaries. Also could connect. It could go like spiritual boundaries. People go into, let's say they go now following churches, beliefs and other things that could instead hurt them more psychologically, mentally. Physical boundaries, we have things we need to, we don't need to our bodies, we need to cover up. We should limit. If we take, for example, you need to, as a lady, you need to know that, okay, you're dressing up. There are certain extents. It depends on the events or the occasion or where you're going to. You don't just need to dress anyhow. You don't just need to look anyhow. Nowadays, on this same platform, YouTube, social media, there are a lot of materials on leveling up. There are a lot of materials on being class and looking so chic, but without exposing yourself in a very responsible way. Physically, you're setting boundaries for yourself, so people will have a certain kind of impression about you. That's very important. That's very important, because first impression counts. It counts a lot. Sometimes I, for one, I have lost it when it comes to first impressions in some situations in my life. There are certain moments where I've been to places and people have the wrong impression about me for the first time. They don't really know me because I showed them something else physically. I showed them something else, like your take home about me was something else. Like it wasn't me, because my physical showing, presenting myself physically to you wasn't what I ought to. Wasn't the way I ought to present myself to you or those I met. So it is very important that you set boundaries for yourself. You said, this is the limits. This is the limit to this. Boundaries are basically limits you place in everything you do, in everything, what you say, the way you speak, what you say it, how you behave. There should be boundaries. You should compose. You should live. You should not just open up, because there are people I've known them for years and there's still things about them I'm getting to know, like, what happened that I couldn't see this thing before? It's because they chose to set boundaries. It's because they did it consciously. They knew what they were actually doing. They knew that, okay, this is me. I cannot just open myself to you. I cannot just meet you and now just pour out everything about. No, I have to set boundaries. It is very important, especially for us ladies. Setting boundaries is so important in your conversation. You need to be mysterious. Sometimes you don't just open yourself at a go. You meet someone today and you just, everything is out. No, you need to be mysterious. You need to, today you're giving something else, tomorrow you're giving at least one step at a time. You're saying one new thing as the days go. You say one new thing. You reveal yourself gradually, one step at a time. So it's very important that we set boundaries in our lives, in our relationships, in everything we embark on. Boundaries are very, very, very important. Very important. So, and hope you love this video. I hope you enjoyed everything. It's just a reminder. Boundaries, girls, boundaries, guys, most especially us the ladies. We just have ourselves exposed, especially when it comes to spirituality. We're the most vulnerable. When it comes to so many things, we are most affected. And also for the guys, there is a saying, men don't cry. Please, we cry. You don't need to emotionally expose yourself in public, but do it in private. But you could also talk to somebody, and talking to somebody doesn't mean that you just talk to anybody. You talk to people whom you know they can help you, because talking to anybody, you're going against the rule of setting boundaries. You need to set boundaries. Set boundaries, please. We ladies, we talk a lot, we expose ourselves by speaking, but we should set boundaries. I would not say I'm 100 of 100, no, but we are a work in progress. We are a work in progress. We build ourselves every day. We learn new things every day, and it's very important. Sometimes we don't know that we have to set boundaries for ourselves at these various levels, but please, it's very important that we set boundaries for ourselves. Importantly, consciously, very important. And there are certain things we are doing unconsciously, like I listed the various types of boundaries in these various domains. Some of us could be doing things unconsciously, not knowing that they are detrimental to ourselves, our mental, to our psychology, to our physical well-being and everything. We are doing it unconsciously, but please, we should always know that setting boundaries at every level is important. It's important. There are so many things about setting boundaries I'll be revealing to you, but this is just an intro to this very broad topic. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.